Hey everybody, welcome to the content exploration. There is so much awesome content in here. It was actually really difficult to whittle it down to the best of the best, and I hope you all get a lot out of this. So I'll quickly go through all of the content that we have here. So we have 5 pieces that are the required media. We have a video to start us off that's an inspirational video that calls us to action, how we need to be infusing science, technology, engineering, and math in education. And then we're going to watch the first video of a series of 8 from Paul Anderson. And Paul Anderson is a famous science teacher that doesn't teach anymore. He just travels around the world, and I think he's booked up for the next couple of years to help teachers work with the new standards that are out there called the NGSS standards. Now, Massachusetts has their own standards, but really they've leveraged the NGSS practices and the standards into their curriculum and into their framework. So you could consider what the framework has and what NGSS has is basically the same. So like I write here, if you want to find really great resources about the framework and the standards that you're using in Massachusetts, you can just search the same thing under NGSS. Or you might even better just find that standard in NGSS and look for it there. Then there's a great TED Talk here about how we need to help students not just learn about science, but be scientists. And then we have a very short table here that I just wanted to throw in there because I think it will help people understand what the shift has really happened in the last 10 years regarding science teaching and learning. And then we're going to make a little bit of a shift into design thinking. Now, design thinking is a way for students to use a 5-step process for them to identify problems and come up with solutions. And that's really where the engineering piece is coming into place. And I truly believe that design thinking is one of the best ways that we can better understand what's going on with engineers and being able to understand how we can identify problems and come up with solutions. So after we go over those required media, you'll notice that I have these gray boxes here, and that divides up the category. So we'll have the category of the NGSS standards. You can choose one or more of these. I mean, I would honestly recommend you just look at all of these and maybe look into depth one of them or 2 of them or 3 of them, because this is all really great information for you to better understand what is NGSS, what's it all about, and what are science teachers talking about these days. And then I believe that the practices in science are so important. I talk to a lot of science teachers around the world, and basically they're getting rid of assessing against content, and they're really just assessing these practices. So it's really important that we take a look at these practices a little bit more in depth. And we're really lucky because Paul Henderson, it's not Henderson, it's Anderson. That's so funny. I'm not going to make the video again. I'll just change it now. Paul Anderson is amazing, and he's created a video for each practice that is really easy to understand what these practices are all about and how you can infuse them into your science lessons. So I say, have a look at one of these. We already looked at the question one in the required media, but have a look at another one. Maybe it's one that puzzled you when you looked at the framework, or maybe it's one you're interested in knowing more about. I believe that as teachers, if we're going to be teaching science, that we should really be looking at all of these and really better understand these practices, making sure that they are really infused well into our classes. So the next thing we'll be talking about is STEM and STEAM. And they're a little bit different, but STEM is basically saying how can we infuse science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in our classes. And STEAM adds in the A because that's arts. But that's also humanities, that's reading and writing, and trying to infuse all of these different subjects into one, which really work well with all of the different activities that people are creating around the world. And you'll see that throughout all of this content. I had a really hard time narrowing this down, but I believe that this is the best of the best out there, and you have a lot of opportunity to learn all about STEM and STEAM and how to use that in your class. So have a look at 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever you'd like to do, and you can get as much out of this as you can. The next thing we'll be taking a look is at design thinking. And if you've never heard of design thinking, this is a really great opportunity to take a deep dive into what is design thinking and what does it mean to empathize with a user and try to better understand how can I create a solution for that user, or identify the problem first and then create the solution. I also have a bunch of other articles here, but I wanted to make them optional because I already put a lot into this content exploration. But this is some really great stuff here that Einstein has said about his philosophy, and Bill Nye the Science Guy. I mean, they're just awesome. So have a look at this content if you have time, or you can always come back to this at any time because I won't be deleting this resource ever. So enjoy the content exploration. I hope you get a ton out of this. And if you feel like you need more resources, I have other resources that I'm so happy to share with you. Okay, have a great day.